Saka nenyaya yemvura, mvura haisi kuita hatisitombotiitira zvakanaka. Umurwisi mugore rino hamuna kutomboyerera mvura zvachose, hamuna kutombopinda mvura.
Lapha komile zibili esigabeni sakithi. Ukuthi lami nginje so kungomele ikho kunje.
The climate change and changes in the weather pattern is affecting not only Zimbabwe, the whole Southern Africa region.
The statistics that are coming through on climate change show that even if we maintain the same level of support through government systems, through the international community, and productivity can start going up, climate change will reverse all of those positive effects.
Thousands of animals have died. There's a scarcity of water. So we need to totally change the way we are doing things in this country.
Considering that 60% at least of population lives in rural areas and are facing these different impacts of climate change and whatever other sources of disasters, it's critically important if you have a poverty reduction strategy for a country that you really help people build resilience to these challenges.
Lapha komilela izulu kalini loba lisithi liyabuya liyalima khonoko kwesikhathi esincane libuye lihambe bese kusala kusitsha futhi.
Kurima tinorima tizviwana asi kuti hazvigari kwenguva yakareba sezvo zvinenge tichiwana zvinhu zvishoma shoma nemvura shoma shoma.
The primary objective of Zrbf is really to contribute to strengthening the resilience of rural communities in Zimbabwe so that they can withstand shocks and hazards that might affect them, so that they can protect their development gains, and so that they in the end can contribute to the economic development of Zimbabwe along the lines of what is prescribed in the Zim Asset document. A number of workshops were held, a number of consultations were made between the UN agencies, civil society organizations, different government departments, different sectors, academia, private sector, to try to find out where do we start with building resilience in Zimbabwe? What questions do we need to answer first? We started to look deeper into why is the food insecurity high in certain areas of the country? Who is the population that is most vulnerable to food insecurity? Why are the poverty rates so high in rural areas? How have they been sustained over time? Are there any linkages between bad years, good years, drought years, wet years, and these phenomena playing out?
Through consultative processes and also engagements with government, we realized that there are about 9 shocks and stresses that affect rural livelihoods. And these are drought, mid-season dry spells, floods, cereal and livestock price changes, land mines, HIV and AIDS, and diarrheal diseases.
The main districts that are affected by many shocks and hazards are the ones that are in the southern as well as the western parts of the country.
As Zrbf is today, it consists of 3 components. One being the evidence base that is being developed, which will be accompanied by a capacity building component. The second one being the actual fund that will go ahead and fund initiatives that will be rolled out in the rural communities in Zimbabwe, and the third component being the crisis modifier. A crisis modifier in the context of resilience will mean an instrument that will allow, again, partners to come together to roll out, let's say, an emergency response in a timely manner to the affected communities that will not disturb or interrupt the development that they are undergoing, that will not request them to stop or step back, but will allow them to maybe stay where they are during the impact of a certain hazard, and then move on from there and continue their development path.
So the fund is necessary for Zimbabwe because it's working by bringing in everyone into the program. So the partners who contribute technical expertise and the finance, while as the government, they have access to the people and they push for the programs.
The project was identified through a participatory processes of engaging with the district stakeholders and the communities themselves to identify what are the issues that really affect them. So for us, we would want a community that starts to be active in their own development, and this, with our support, should then build their long-term capacities to be able to withstand shocks that they face. The activities that we are going to be implementing in the project is going to enhance the capacities of communities to anticipate the shocks that they face within their communities and be better prepared for them, so that they don't realize loss in terms of assets and be able to maintain their well-being.
Asi kana tikasatevedzerawo zvemamiriro okunze tinoramba tiri vanhu vanongova nedambudziko nekuti tinoramba tingova nenzara nekuti techinzvengana nemamiriro okunze.
Well, the project design was the fruit of a combination of processes, including literature review on the internet, consultation with community stakeholders and people who are already rolling out projects in the community, and also our experience on the ground. Our program has got 5 major result areas. Result 1 is institutional capacity building of rural district councils. The second result area is supporting households so that they've got an option of livelihood choices so that they can adapt to various catastrophes. The third result is supporting the rollout of market linkages to support income generation activities. The fourth result speaks to strengthening social safety nets so that the community's absorptive capacities can be enhanced in the event of a shock. And then the fifth result speaks to monitoring and evaluation so that the 4 results I previously mentioned are indeed contributing to our objectives. We are looking forward to working very closely with the rural district councils in order to ensure sustainability and ownership of the program.
The project came about as a culmination of interventions that the consortium members had been doing along the Zambezi Valley districts. We realized that there was no complementarity in order for us to attain sustainable resilience within the Zambezi Valley.
Ya matambudziko atinawo muno mu area inayo kuti makore ese tinotarisana ne drought kana tichiongorora pamanayiro emvura kuti nguwa zhinji chikafu chedu tinoteta zvokupuwa kuti titi chatinorima chinokwanisa kutiraramisa achikwanisi.
Saka mvura yacho neyapa refu zvoti kana mabhoro achona bhoro ratinara apa iwani apa ndo pari kumwa mombe zvese vanhu tese tiri kuwana mvura ipapaya. Saka mvura ishoma singatomboiti iri kutonetsa nzara yachona yakatonyanyisa gore rinati rangana richatakambowana munda hapana kana chakatombobuda nyaya yemvura inaona yazvakanaka.
The Zambezi Valley Resilience Building Consortium is bringing on the table a repertoire of complementary projects. They are multi-thematic in nature, ranging from natural resource governance, disaster risk reduction, agriculture, looking at both the cropping side as well as the livestock side, water and sanitation, health-related interventions, especially those around combating malaria. So in a nutshell, these are pretty much the interventions that have been focused around.
Tozenda pakuchengetwa kwadzo mombe ndofunga ruzivo rushoma tinotodawo ruzivo kuti tipiwewo njere neruzivo kuti zvipuwo izvi tingazvivandudza sei kuti tigone kuachiva a better goal pakurarama.
After the current phase is done, we have a well-tested approach and mechanism so that resilience is value for money. Resilience is a good investment. And resilience building helps bring sustainability.
And I think it is about that merging and that bringing together of the humanitarian paradigm and activities with longer development thinking. And I think that is very relevant for Zimbabwe, especially in the current year, but probably as climate change manifests itself, become more and more relevant.
Shuviro iri kuvillage kwedu ndeyekuti tine ng'ombe senguva dzinodzi dzenzara, saka secommunity tine zvirimwa zvatinoita zvokuti tiwane kusustaina ng'ombe dzedu nechikafu.
The long-term expectations are that of the communities being able to sustain themselves without external help. So the capacities, the adaptive, the transformative, as well as the absorptive capacity of the community or rural communities in Zimbabwe should be improved to such an extent that when hazards and shocks strike, they won't need external help. They'll be able to sustain themselves.
In the long term, we, of course, as partners to Zrbf, we hope and believe that Zrbf will be part of the long-term strategic answer for Zimbabwe to building resilience for rural communities in Zimbabwe.